then choose the baby or me.
Jai, please, let's talk.
You have a baby, another one on the way. You have been married, but you're about to present the divorce. Congratulations.
Don't terminate it.
I don't want that anymore.
Jai, please.
In this video, I'll be talking about the movie Devil is a Liar, which you can watch on Netflix. So this movie is a story of betrayal and redemption. It follows the life of this woman, Adora, who is this real estate mogul. She's a businesswoman, she's doing well for herself. The movie opens up with her dressed like for a wedding ceremony. Then we get to find out who it is, her sister who is getting married. So basically, Adora is the eldest daughter and the only child of her parents. The dad remarried, so she has stepsisters. So one of the sisters already married, the other one is about to get married. So it's just a case of when would her turn be, basically. Her stepmother and some of the aunties are, of course, rubbing the fact that she's not married compared to her other sisters. With the whole conversation around, when she would end up getting married and how she's getting older and everything. She meets this guy, Jaye, at her sister's introduction, who happens to be the sister's, I think, fashion designer or stylist. Long story short, they spark up a romantic relationship and which ends up in them getting married. And as you can imagine, because when you first start off the movie, you can already tell how the movie would go or how the storyline would go. So it wasn't surprising how things went. She's older, societal pressure, she has to get married, and she wants to have kids, and everything makes her think the guy she met is actually like the right guy for her, like he has good intentions for her. But reverse is the case. She actually ends up falling in love and getting married to the devil. Yes, so that is basically the gist of the movie. So the movie is directed by Moses Imwang and produced by Ese Odometa and executive produced by Onome Odometa. For the actors and performances in this movie, of course, we have the lead character, who is Adora, who is played by Ikpe Etim. So she is the business, mogul, billionaire. So in her life, one thing was lacking, which was the aspect of a partner. So business-wise, she was flourishing. Everything she wanted, she had, except that. So when this guy comes into her life and sweeps her off her feet and promises her the world and more, she falls head over heels in love. Nse is a very, very powerful actress. Like, we know how good of an actress this woman is, and she did not disappoint in this movie. I think seeing her being all soft and mushy was a bit weird. When we get to see the flip side of her, when life hit her hard, when the guy had put her through hell and back, like when we get to see the other side of her was when I actually enjoyed watching her in this movie, because I'm like, how can you take all this nonsense? How can you see the red flags and ignore? Because I was like, everything was so glaring. But yeah, so I liked the reverse bit of her character. But it's just so sad. Everybody deserves love, so that should not be an opportunity somebody would use to exploit another person. Because it was really, really, really sad the way this guy dealt with her. Because imagine giving her an ultimatum of her getting rid of the child she's carrying. Like, either you pick the baby in your tummy, or sign the divorce paper. So it was just like very, very upsetting seeing that whole manipulation and everything he did to her. Then we get to see the guy Jaye, who is played by James Gardiner. So he really did fit the profile of Jaye, like sweet talker, smooth talker, just love bombing her, giving her all the special gifts, treatment, everything that she wanted. Till we get to see the switch in him. But I'm like, pretty early on in the movie, we just knew that this guy's intentions towards Adora were fake. We knew that he had ulterior motives. So I think the thing the movie could have done differently was maybe give us like a shocker, oh, let this guy actually be genuine and have good intentions for her, or something along those lines. Because we expected the sequence of events in this movie, because of course he was a gold digger, just wanted her for her money. Like, she could have avoided this thing. And it's just so it's just like basically what we hear about the reality of this, should I say, dynamic in relationships, where the woman is more the one doing well, she's wealthy, and the guy is pretty much like starting up his life and his career and whatnot. And of course, because of how much she loved and cared and wanted to make her husband happy, she would do anything and everything for him. So that was where he knew that he had her mumu button, and he did that well. I think the only thing with these two um actors with the two characters, Jaye and Adora, that didn't cut it for me was their chemistry. I didn't really get, that spark, that romance, that, love in the air kind of thing. It just seemed a bit off, their intimate, scenes, and even them being all loved up wasn't really, really giving. But yeah, that's by the way. So some other actors will get to see, other actors, other characters will get to see in the movie. We'll get to see Anna, who is played by Erica. So she is being introduced to us by Jaye as his cousin, but of course that is not the case. Yeah, so she is his partner, business partner, and supposed cousin. Yeah, so she did good. She did okay in her, scenes. We also get to see Adora's sisters. So we have Cheta, who is played by Nancy Sime, and we have Beatrice, who is played by Padita Agu. Like, I really enjoyed seeing, Padita Agu in this movie because it's been a while. Like, probably remember her face from, some really, classic, movies. It was really, really refreshing to see her in this movie. She was let's say she was the calm, cool, sister, level-headed out of, the three of them. Then Cheta, who was played by Nancy Simmons, was more of the hot-tempered, no nonsense person. Because when everything had happened in regards to Adora and her husband, when they found out what he had done to her, Cheta was more of fire and brimstone. She wanted to burn the building. That Beatrice was more of like trying to make peace and make sure that things don't become worse and everything. Yeah. Then we also get to see her parents, so Mr. and Mrs. Phillips, who are played by Tina Umba and Akin Louise. I don't know why I got the vibe that her mom, her stepmom, Tina Umba's character did not really like her. I don't know. Although we didn't see, I think we only got to see her in the opening bit of the movie. We didn't even get to see her much, but I just got this vibe that maybe there was this beef, there was this bad blood sort of between, her and maybe her daughters towards Adora, but that wasn't the case. Although we didn't, the storyline did explore towards that aspect, sharp. Then of course, Akin Louise did his thing. Then we also get to see her friend Evie, who is played by Caroline Hutchins. So she is that friend that will tell you as it is. Like, of course, when she was having her fun with Jaye and just getting out of her shell and living a little, like, she was, of course, cheering her on and supporting her. They got married and everything was happening, but she clocked early enough the kind of person Jaye is, regardless of all the facade he's putting up. But Adara couldn't see what her friend was trying to make her see because she was blinded by love, and that sort of brought a rift in their friendship. But it was nice seeing Caroline in this movie. Of course, we got to see some other familiar faces like Atlanta Bridget, who played Carol. Of course, we get to see Mercy Ibe, who plays Kathy. So Adara meets Kathy in prison when she gets locked up for killing her husband basically, and it was interesting seeing her in this ghetto, thug life, gangster character. But it was refreshing to see her as well. And I also liked seeing her and Adora in this movie together. So the movie Devil is a Liar is a familiar story, something we've watched, multiple times, we've heard about, we've seen in play. Basically, this older lady gets married to a younger guy, she's well to do, she's successful, she is blinded by love, thinks this guy is her one true love, and she's ready to move the world, move oceans and move seas for this guy. And this guy is just basically milking her dry for all she has. It was so like upsetting to see the extent, he would go to clear her out. Because I'm like, okay, let's say you Kini, you wanted to just use this woman for her money and everything. Like, there are a lot of other ways to go about it, not taking her womb because you don't want her to have a child. Like, that was very, very evil of him. Movie gets makes you just see how evil a man can be, how despicable and inhumane somebody can be to another person, essentially. Yeah. Some of the themes you can pick up on in the movie would of course be the whole thing with societal pressure in this whole thing about getting married at a certain age, at a certain time. There's this pressure society puts on you, either your family or your friends, or just like society generally. So that was also one thing that came into play in Adora's mind. That was also something like her biological clock is ticking, her younger sisters are married, was why she left, things like that. And it wasn't helping matters. So we get to see how that affected her decisions. Then we also get to see the thing of this age gap, or this, let's say, this power tussle, power dynamic in, an older lady, an older successful woman falling in love or getting married to somebody much younger than her. I think they had between 6 to 8 years age gap between the both of them, considering that she's very, very wealthy and he is not, and how that tends to play on. And then you also get to see the thing of, I think towards the end of the movie sort of highlighted this thing about fake debts, or should I say, how people use fake debts or faking their own debt to get insurance payouts in countries like India, which is what we get to find out later on that Jaye did. Then there's of course the whole thing with betrayal, the level of betrayal Jaye inflicted on Adora. Then the thing with redemption, retribution, getting revenge, because she had to get her own pound of flesh. Then some things I did not like in the movie, or what I did not enjoy watching this movie, was of course the for one would be the sound. The sound quality wasn't the greatest. It wasn't the best. There were a couple of times in the movie where the subtitles will tell you what is happening before they actually say what is happening. It was a bit off. Then at times it just sounded weird. The audio was off. Then of course the whole thing with, there was a scene in the movie where they were intimate in bed, and he took out her phone to make a recording of them, and I'm like, what was the essence, like what was the reason behind that? Because I'm like, why did they show us that? Was he going to use that to blackmail her, or what exactly was that for? It didn't make sense. Then, of course, I did not like how we did not get to understand. After she was given, I've forgotten how many years in prison for, killing her husband. She, stays in prison for 6 years, and she, gets us. They didn't explain to us, oh, what happened? Why is she out? Like, what happened between that period? Like, give us context. And of course, the whole thing with how the movie sort of shifted from the pain and the torment, and the emotional abuse and the loss that this woman had felt, to it just being a quest for revenge for her, as if that would make up for all she had been through with this guy. Because what are the odds that where she was sent to go on vacation is where Jaye and his family would be vacationing at? Crazy, right? It's a movie, so of course it's not. Also, the fight scenes were just a bit funny. The fight scenes between Jaye and Adora was funny, because I'm like, okay, you said Kathy should give you a gun. I'm like, babe, hope you know how to use a gun. She said yes. Shoot the gun now. She was, I don't know whether she shot the gun and she fell back. That whole thing was just crazy. Because I'm like, you can't be doing ginger ginger. You want to go and get revenge without being ready, without putting in the necessary preparations to go through with it. Because I'm like, that's just by the way, sha. But yeah, so the movie Devil is a Liar is, just know it is a story we are familiar with. It's something that we've seen before. You can tell how the movie will end from the starting of the movie. Of course, it was also a bit slow paced, because at a point I'm like, what will happen, what will happen, what will happen? Because I'm like, okay, rich woman meets this poor boy. They are going on dates. They are in bed. The guy likes her. He proposes to her. They get married. So like, what next? What next? What next? Is it that he's going to start hitting her, abusing her? Like, what are we going to see? When are we going to get to see the true intentions or the true nature of this guy? So just a bit dragged before everything came into play. Sha. That was just for me. But if you've seen the movie Devil is a Liar, do share your thoughts down in the comment section. What did you think about the movie? Did you enjoy watching it? The Devil is a Liar is a, should I say, is a drama thriller. Watch it on Netflix. If you're new to my channel, do subscribe. Check out my other videos. Thank you so much for watching. Do share your thoughts down in the comment section, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.